Daniel?
Marshall,
can you mute? Can you mute Marshall and Daniel?
You don't have the right to
You
ask.
just said something. Can I respond? I cannot respond if Daniel and Marshall are not muted. Let me talk, Marshall and Daniel. First off, let me talk. You just said what you had to say. I shut it the fuck up. You muted me.
You're not, and this Earth guy is Edmonds.
Sorry about that.
Good, I'll throw him out. That'll work.
Yeah, I removed him because he's just not. We had a very good conversation actually prior to this coming on the stage.
Welcome.
Motherfuckers.
Hey, World, are you familiar with this? Oh, I thought that was the same person. That's
Wait, hold on.
Okay, I don't know the book. That's only because
One second.
I know Kwame Ture. I don't know the book.
Yo, one second. Yo, wait,
I don't want to give you a second. Hurry up.
Please. Look,
No.
I know the term rooms are boring, but we're bored of Trump. So
You're a very impressive white lady. That's
no,
my
I just don't get it. Like,
He's a what? He's a booker. Oh, right. So he knows his Hebrew.
So if I'm watching something and I'm reading subtitles, I can follow much better. So reading is a lot better than my speech. And
Auditory. It's a question of practicing, right?
Yeah.
Do you have family over here?
I have 3 sisters. 2 in Yerushalayim and 1 in nearby.
Nice.
All in that area.
I may be asking you for some contacts, Mayor and Shimmy.
You go?
Yeah, I have to go. I've been wanting to go for a while. I've just been delaying.
I had a brother there, but his wife dragged him out.
Oh, where did you drag him to? U.S.?
Yeah, that's the one that lives not far from you. That was hard to find.
Oh, yeah. So I was telling Shimmy that I took the political compass test and I tested out slightly left of center. So now if my kid tells me I'm too right-wing, I just say, look, I tested it. I'm slightly left of center.
Where did he test? Is he like extreme left or?
Not extreme, but more than me. He kind of believes that politics is a swindle, essentially. I'm sure Adrian will sort of agree with this. He believes that they're manipulating us. So he doesn't trust either side.
Yeah.
That's a very classic Gen Z style.
That's very good, very good. That's it. He's classic Gen Z.
But you don't know that until you actually go into Republican politics, and then you realize they're all just a bunch of Democrats.
But what does that mean? That means that they're
No, it means that the Democrats, I think that you could view Democrat and Republican as being gendered, or you could view it as being good versus evil. I think that's the dualistic yin-yang Tao in our form of, representative republic or what, constitutional republic.
Wait, what does gender mean?
Meaning that I think the Democrats embody the feminine and the Republicans should, demonstrate or represent the masculine.
That's not a terrible way of looking at it metaphorically. It's like the Democrats are trying to be more nurturing, and the Republicans are trying to be more paternal and enforce the rules, sort of ish. And that's what I'm getting from what you said.
Yeah, I think that and even Trump with that speech, like there's two genders, like he had to remind people, it's
Yeah, Daddy is saying, listen, you got to eat your broccoli, so let's stop fooling around here. You can't have Nutella for dinner. Even if you feel, like you're, a character from Lord of the Rings, take off the costume and let's get back to making America great again. I don't know.
I definitely think it's like destiny, because like when I see these photos of what's happening and who's there versus who could have been there, it definitely seems like those shoes are the right fit. Like it was destiny that this. I mean, it is just
for Trump.
For Trump, yeah. I mean, this is like.
Well, God saved his life to make America great, right?
Yeah, but people use MAGA as like a pejorative, and it's really just a cliche term which means nothing, because this is his second run. Like this is the unfinished business portion.
Third run.
Well, I mean, second in terms of like the position. So
I just mean this is the most persistent.
It's wild.
Yeah, Mayor, were you kidding or were you serious, or both?
He said it. I'm quoting him.
Yeah, I remember that from the speech. But frankly, around the Shabbos table with my rabbi, the Rebbitzin said, "God saved." Right, this is right after it happened. She said, "God saved his life." How could you disagree with that?
Well,
the making America great again is, I was just about to ask you, do you think we're entering a golden age? Probably a bit of hype like Morning in America. But
who said that? It's Morning in America.
Reagan. That's Reagan. Yeah, I forget the name of the guy who came up with it. He worked with Madison Avenue. That's a Madison Avenue line. I forget the guy's name. Morning in America is very famous. It's Morning in America. I mean, if you go around thinking that, you might want to get up and get out of bed and go, Did you see how happy Elon Musk was?
I mean, he was saying, like, let's put a flag on the moon. I mean, America is a very... Manifest Destiny has like a colonial, terrible term to it, but the idea of we will go in a covered wagon and figure out what's beyond that trail has always been in Americans' hearts, and it kind of died in the last 40 years. So, like, that idea of putting a flag on Mars, like, yeah, it was definitely a uplifting speech.
I agree. Let me add something in.
You realize that we added a state to this country pretty much every decade up until the 60s?
No, I hadn't thought about that.
It's been the 60 years now we haven't added a state, but that was America's. Like, buying Greenland sounds crazy today, but that's what America did. Like, we kept adding states.
Excuse me, Mayor. It sounded crazy like last week, and this week it's like, not a bad idea.
This week it's like, do you want Panama with that?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's put it. And by the way, if you got a minute, would you please put that flag on the moon for us? And then let's talk. I mean, Musk said Mars. Musk is talking Mars.
How do you rate his communication? Because I asked this really wealthy guy I know who was big up at Citibank. First time around, he said Trump doesn't listen, and that's a pretty wise thing to say. But the second time around, it seems like his communication is so concise, to the point, positive, transformational. It's like, I think people's jaws are just like dropped when you listen to him, because it's like
he's getting better.
It's spot on. Like, it's unbelievable. His like neural programming for the country and for the world is like, I mean, it's the reason why he won, but he went against such a stooge. But I mean, he is a master.
Positive, I think, is a major word. If you think about it, Obama was a very negative message, like hope and change. It was a really negative message. And he was an inspirational figure, and he got a lot of, not my hope, but he got a lot of people like inspired. And Trump came with a much more positive message. And then in 2020, Trump was not a positive message, especially after he lost. He became bitter. He looked for revenge. He learned his lesson. That was a very positive inauguration. And he said, despite all our challenges, we are a nation. We are a great nation. We're gonna, like, a much more uplifting, like a champion going back for a repeat, as opposed to like just 2020 was like this country's destroyed and I'm gonna save it.
He's a learning machine, as it turns out. That's quite a good feature. I mean, the first time in office, 2016, there was not one single credible person anywhere near him. The most credible person was somebody that whoever heard of Jeff Sessions from Alabama. Is that Alabama? Is that where he was? Yeah. Okay. And then
You mean during the campaign or during his first administration?
during the campaign, let's say when they announced he was the candidate at the Republican National Convention, there was like Scott Baio and Jeff Sessions and his family.
Nikki Haley already joined. There were a few. It was scam, but there were some.
Okay, all right, I'll accept Nikki. I hadn't even thought about her. She was great. But I mean, so the Democrats were like every star you could mention and every politician, right? I mean, Hillary is like inevitable. I mean, it's just, she measured the drapes already in the Oval Office, right? And he had nobody. And this time around, like people are running to him. And the smartest people are running to Trump.
So when he says that God saved his life so he could save America, I mean, do you know how gaslighting that is to a lot of people who, maybe intellectual atheists when they hear things like that? Because it makes their alarm bells go off thinking like, oh my God, like what is about to happen? I mean, with all the historical context of even Napoleon, like what is this guy really going to bring and do or say or institute? Like, because it is so transformational that could he blow it out of proportion and do something ridiculous,
like trying to extend his administration beyond 4 years? As I've spoken to somebody else about it, that's a non-zero possibility that he does that.
I mean, now, FDR is the one example, but that is such a bad example. And don't you think he would respect the precedent with Washington and the whole history of the whole freaking thing? Like, he doesn't seem like he's going to usurp that.
Wait, you're saying Trump? It's unlikely, you're saying?
No, wait, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about cataclysmic world-changing events like the deployment of the military to the Middle East for a greater conflict with Iran or something big in that regards, some kinetic.
Nobody wants to do that.
He seems more trying to be the one that doesn't create a war. I don't see that as his big move.
I mean, if he does it, I think he's got to deal with Bibi. He wants Bibi to do it.
I see much more buying Greenland, getting more control over the Panama Canal, probably not straight out. I see him doing things like that a lot more than the Middle East. He doubled down pretty heavy. I'm the only president that hadn't started a war in the Middle East.
Okay, so if we combine your two theories, you get the Gates or Hara in the fourth quarter at the end. That's when the war breaks out because that's the dog wagging the tail or the political movement to seize and maintain power, saying it's too dangerous to turn this over to, the next Democrat.
He's 72. The chances of him staying in power are basically zero. That's not what he wants. He couldn't go out losing. This way he won both elections. He has to campaign again. That's really not what it is. And starting a war in the Middle East is also not a legacy. Like a legacy would be to end the war. A legacy would be furthering the Abraham Accords. If he can make America larger. Like these are like lasting legacies. Having another war in the Middle East is like what?
Going to Mars.
Going to Mars would be a huge legacy. Yeah.
He's got the Space Force. By the way, we do need to plant our flag, so to speak, in the waterways in the top of the world, if you see where Greenland is, because Russia and China are up there, and strategically it's actually really smart. I know we have bases there, but for all I know, maybe there's an advantage to actually sort of buying Greenland or whatever.
Well, here's the advantage I could think of, is having bases there is important, but there's nothing stopping from a rival from having base. If it's America, then you just got exclusivity.
Right. You saw he told all the DEI people in the government to stay home, and they're going to get on paid leave.
Yeah, that was epic.
epic.
What do you
They
think?
just said, go ahead.
What do you think about, enemies, foreign and domestic? I mean, if he's not going to do regime change and he's going to stabilize the economy and guarantee future, stability, I mean, what is the war internally then? I mean, is he
The Middle East?
no, meaning like A, the cultural war, but B, also what you would call legacy deep state, if there is such a thing, I mean, technically, his head was almost blown off, most likely by an internal security apparatus, which is a legacy thing, and this whole declassification with Kennedy, et cetera, could be one long conspiracy. So it's like, is he going to, use lawfare, or even the power of, direct arrests? I mean, like, if you have governors who are going to aid and abet and create loopholes to violate the law, does he send in a general or the FBI to arrest a sitting mayor or a sitting governor? Like, what is the war internally?
I mean, you start to talk like Alan Watts or, what do you call it, Philip K. Dick, Adrian. And Mayor and I are not like thinking fantasy world. We're talking like today and tomorrow, not like secretly taking over the mayor's office or something. Like, he made an alliance with Eric Adams. I voted for him. I like him. I think Eric Adams is going to change to Republican, by the way. He's going to pardon America. He's going to get the homeless immigrants out of the city. I mean, that's the kind of thing he's doing. He's probably, I think, going to eliminate, what's that tax thing called that he didn't let the blue states deduct their federal taxes from the state.
The real estate tax cap is $10,000. That was definitely an attack on blue state. So you can either itemize or you can take a standard deduction in America. And itemizing, there's a couple of biggies. One of them is taxes. He capped it at $10,000. If you live in a blue state, your real estate taxes are $10,000. Forget about your income tax.
So don't you think he's gonna lower that or no?
You mean raise it? I would
raise it. No, I think he wants to reduce taxes a lot. I think
his taxes expire. He's gonna have to do something about that.
Well, he's got both houses, so I mean, it should be on the list. No better time, right?
I'm wondering what he'll do. He might just extend it and not touch it. The thing is, last time he used political capital on this tax bill, and I don't think he's going to want to do that again. So, and the clock is ticking. It has to be done quickly because it has to be done before the 2025 tax year. So I'm conflicted on this one. He might do something, or he might just extend his for another 5 years. Because in order to do it fully, it takes a higher percentage. This is part of the reconciliation bill. So you can only do tax code for a certain amount of years, or you have to do a full bill, which he has the House, but he has the House by one seat.
A friend of mine moved to England and got a very nice situation under COVID, and when the Labour government came in, it made it impossible for him to stay there. They dramatically increased the taxes. Essentially, they said you have to pay taxes in England and in the United States. So he'd be underwater with taxes. He'd have to be obligated to pay more taxes than he was making. So he has to decamp. I just mentioned that because I guess you can change the tax law more quickly in England than you can here.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if this is the golden age, I mean, he has to get rid of a lot of the bureaucracy and the taxation, raise the, growth of the country. I mean, it's just common sense stuff. But I don't know, the culture is, we all witnessed how bad TDS is amongst people. It's still there. People have TDS bad, and it's not going away. So it's like, it's a grind because the country, from at the media level, which is the communication level of the collective consciousness, is still going to just be insane anti-TDS, is a TDS content. So it's like, I don't know, will he go hyperbolic? Because that would be the play if, if it's not going. See, it's all about his anger. Like, how, it's like the Uncle Steve show, which is really called How Angry Can I Make Uncle Steve? But how angry is Donald Trump going to get? Because to me, he seems like he's walking on a cloud. Like, to me, his mental health seems unbelievable.
He's remarkably resilient. So, Mayor, what do you think? Like, here's a legacy. I guess it's impossible, but what if we somehow reverse the trend to go deeper and deeper into debt?
I don't see him doing that. It's just not what he does.
It's not what anybody has ever done. No.
I would say that the only person who got close to being president that was Cruz, who spoke about fiscal responsibility. I mean, Rand Paul spoke about it, but he didn't get anywhere close to being president.
But that's always the play. I mean, that is the whole point, is that you have that golden pen to write those checks. I mean, do you know how much money Biden passed out at the end? It's insane what that you can do as the president.
It's really hard to lower the deficit because it's a downturn in order to lay your goal. So you're going to be making a lot of people unhappy in the short term. You know who did that here during Chris Christie did that, and he took a lot of flack for it.
He cut the teachers' pensions, or the public workers' pensions.
He cut a lot of things. He had he was like the fat guy with a big mouth that knew how to just say it, and he got away with more than what most people can. But it's really hard. He used to say things like, "It's hard to be the adult of the room and take away the punch bowl, but you guys gotta just stop spending."
He was remarkable. You really never expect smart things. I mean, this is very prejudiced. You never expect smart things to come out of a fat person's mouth. Like, if you're so smart, why don't you not look like that? But he was really, really clever. I wonder where he is right now, by the way. He did 2 terms, right? He must have.
He did 2 terms. He tried to go to Washington, and he got blocked by Kushner. He put Charles Kushner in prison.
Well, he shouldn't have done that. I guess he could not do it.
Should have done that.
You're not so sure? Yeah, he really couldn't. Didn't he have somebody killed or something?
I don't think he had somebody killed, but he had his brother-in-law blackmailed in a pretty ugly way.
The guy did a lot of time.
He did. He actually had a pretty sweetheart deal. No, I have to look it up. I think he got house arrest.
Listen, if you think that Trump is going to be fiscally responsible, you live on Mars already. The fact is,
I know. I'm just dreaming here.
I had an interesting question today. We pay out $1 trillion a year now in interest, which is what the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization, is. We're spending $2 trillion there. For the $1 trillion that we're passing out in interest or dividends to our lenders, who are they? Literally, not just the institutions, but who are the people that our government is now seriously monthly and annually indebted to? Like, who are they?
People who hold the bonds, like the Chinese.
I know it's super national, but I'm saying, it just seems to me like we're so disconnected from the fiscal crisis, which is right in front of us. And it's like we don't even accurately have a real depiction or analysis of the true situation. You can go to usdebtclock.org and ponder, but when it really comes to the network of people, that to me is unknown.
Well, there's a record of it. They sell the bonds. I mean, I forget the name, but there's a Fidelity or something. There's the number 1 holder in the United States.
I mean, it seems like government is an illusion in many ways. Like, the government contracts with all the financial security corporations that manage all the pensions, all the life insurance benefits. It's like, it's not the government that does it. It's private banking institutions that does it.
He did some executive orders that was way out of my consciousness. I'm assuming most people also he was overturning executive orders that were signed by Johnson. They've been just executive orders for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, the affirmative action bill.
That was an executive order. It's not even like a bill.
That's what I mean. The EO. I'm sorry. Yeah, the affirmative action EO from Johnson.
From Johnson? That's crazy. If I asked you last week how many things go on in the federal government that are just executive orders for decades and decades. Like, was that like within your consciousness of how strong it is?
No, I would say 10 and under, because I figure the subsequent presidents, they want to reverse them.
Right, and this went through Reagan, 2 Bushes, Trump last time, and they all like went with that.
Don't forget Clinton, and I guess he would. So.
Well, Clinton's a Democrat, but yeah.
Obama.
Yeah, but Obama would have signed it.
What about the Equal Employment Opportunity Office, the EEOO, that I think Thomas was the head of? Was it him? Yeah, I think he was, actually. Right? Clarence Thomas was the head of it before he became Supreme Court Justice. What if there's another Supreme Court Justice?
You know, I saw a chart of I hate to interrupt your Supreme Court thing, but I saw a chart of the stock market growth by every president. Nixon had a -5% 4-year growth. Bill Clinton had the biggest and the best because of the dot-com boom. But isn't that all just the Federal Reserve doing quantitative easing or the expansion of the money supply to even expand Wall Street per se? So it's lax regulation, bigger Wall Street, bigger booms, bigger busts. So I don't know. It's just an interesting observation that, you know, it's a hand-in-hand president. Like the president and the Federal Reserve are holding hands the whole way through.
I just remember the days, I'm probably a little older than you, when Alan Greenspan was considered the greatest genius and the most powerful person. And all he would do he'd lower the interest rate by a couple of basis points. And everybody would go, he's a genius. Remember?
He never spoke clearly. Like, first of all, his words weren't clear, but he didn't even enunciate them. And everyone, like, yeah, that was
well, here in Chicago at the Rosemont Convention Center, I went to something called the Learning Annex. And guess who was there? Donald Trump and Alan Greenspan. Alan was a speaker, and Trump was selling his, Trump University real estate, how to make money in real estate business kits for thousands of dollars. And I was like, this guy was the head of the Federal Reserve, huge, if you wanted to be in, he's here speaking at a Trump, college university. I was like, is this all? Am I losing my mind? I was like, this seems like it's.
That's very funny. If you had tape of that, but the thing was, once we had the recession, everybody said, yeah, it's your fault. You're an idiot. Like, you were fooling us the whole time, and he had to slink away. So his legacy is terrible.
Well, he reminds me of our Yasser Arafat. He's always drooling like a catfish.
What does that
mean? Meaning that when you look at historical videos of Yasser Arafat giving press conferences, it's a fucking miracle that piece of shit ever even lived. I cannot believe that piece of shit was never even assassinated. Just everything about him is just fucking a miracle.
Supposedly he was like Castro. Sorry to interrupt. Supposedly he was like Castro, and he slept in a different bed every night.
They had him once in the crosshairs of a rifle, and he was that close, and they decided not to shoot him.
My friend went and interviewed him when he already was completely falling apart in pieces from Parkinson's. He was so shaky that it was you could barely look at the video. But he had a couple hours with him. He went all the way over there to do that.
I'm just saying, when you see these old presses, it's unbelievable that people even listened to him and took him seriously for so long and paid him so much attention. It just blows the mind that this guy was able to hypnotize everybody with his bullshit. And his physical appearance is so fucking vile. He looks literally like a Star Wars catfish.
He always looked terrible. Even when people pictures were so bad.
So in Arab culture, instead of looking like a big shot, it's considered admirable to look regular. Do you know?
Yeah, but he didn't look regular. He looked rough. He always had stubble.
That's his look.
He looked like the common man.
Do you know their formal attire includes a dagger and a gun? That's what they wear to a wedding or something.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Like their classic, what's the word I'm looking for? Robe, their wardrobe, their thobe. He wanted to wear his pistol on the White House lawn when he shook hands with Rabin. But the White House said no. But that would have been the normal part of his attire. That's just like their formal. It's like a military guy, you know, in their dress uniform. That's what they wear.
That picture was a classic picture of the 90s of I think Rabin pushes Arafat towards Clinton, and they're all smiling.
I didn't remember that aspect of it. Why did he?
Yeah, I don't think they ever told us. They just said he playfully, like they're all smiling, and he gave him like a little nudge toward.
I guess another thing is when you compare Muammar Gaddafi and his style and the way he lived compared to, Yasser and his stubble. I mean, maybe it's all vanity, but like the fact that he would come to America, the Libyan president, and have these giant like tents, and did he rent from Trump? I can't remember where he set up his harem, so to speak. But then you have Hillary and Obama, and what they did. I mean, took that country over. That country's still probably all kinds of fucked up. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But
it's a failed state with open slave markets.
Yeah. Okay. And it has opposing forces internally, right? Backed by different segments of the global political establishment.
Yeah, I guess. He sort of dressed up like Liberace with makeup.
Yeah.
And sort of a little bit girly kind of stuff.
Yeah, over the top.
Yes. He had female guards.
Yeah, he had concubines. Yeah. Wild shit. But such a horrible death. And, I don't know if Hillary and Obama were the ones who are even, primarily responsible for that. It could have been European.
Sidney Blumenthal. I'm not kidding.
But doesn't it also have to do with the France and basically the other European intelligences, conducting that entire
I honestly don't know. I don't know, but to be
honest,
I don't know. So what was the horrible death? Did they cut him to pieces or something? When
they sodomized him with a pole. They desecrated his body. He was tortured to death.
Are you sure?
Didn't he dare them to kill him? Didn't he get on national television daring anyone to try to kill him the week before?
Yeah, him and his sons were ready for whatever, but they got his ass quick.
That pole thing is an old form of torture that the Ottoman Turks used as well. It's really impalement. It goes up there and it goes through the top of you, and they can hang you there for days. And you have to avoid.
Wait, how long does it take to die?
3 days, they said.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's in a book called "The Bridge Over the Drina" by Ivo Andrić, and it's about he won the Nobel Prize, this guy, and it's about Bosnia being taken over by the Turks, by the Ottoman Turks, and so in order to maintain civil order, they publicly tortured people, and they did that to this guy. I mean, I'm sorry to even say this. Do you mind that I'm going there? I'll stop.
No, I mean it's. This is
who did this to Gaddafi?
It was the rebels, whoever the hell's alive now from that carnage, because they had another mini civil war in there, and they have all these opposing forces. It's all about the resources and the oil. I mean, I'm sure they're all have their own little distribution network going. You know how much money is coming out of that country monthly? Hundreds of billions probably dollars worth of oil.
Do they have oil in Libya? I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. Huge energy business. Everybody there was well-to-do. Huh?
Who's getting the oil money now?
It's all going to European energy export.
Who's running that?
European energy corporations.
Well, how do they maintain their control there? Do they have their own army?
Yeah, they have proxy forces that are probably aligned, and I think there's probably who knows? I don't know the situation on the ground, but I just know from what I've seen in the past that it's fragmented completely, and it must be wild. I mean, most people have no idea all these regime changes and how many people have fucking been obliterated. I mean, just imagine living in one of these cities, the next Aleppo or Damascus. The next thing you know, I mean, it's wild. I mean, the world has changed so much.
What's that, man?
We're definitely living through a lot of history, and I wonder what they knew in Damascus, because we weren't getting news because the news was controlled completely by Assad. But I don't know if the locals were taken as surprised as we were.
I definitely didn't see this coming. Did anybody have this on their radar? I had fucking no clue.
No, we didn't have it on our radar because we weren't getting news out of Syria. But I don't know. But I would not be surprised at all if the locals were like, yeah, we watched the soldiers packing up. Like, we saw people weren't getting, like, they weren't going to put this in the papers if they don't have free press.
I love how Trump.
The locals knew and didn't know.
I love how the only news we know is Trump comes out and says, Erdogan did this, Turkey did this, Turkey sent them. And I'm like, I just fucking love Trump so much. I don't know what to say, but like just the hard reset on what has been going on for 4 years, and the fact that Kamala and Tim we could have been listening to them now. Like, I honestly would have ducked out. Like, I would have gone to Israel maybe if Kamala became president and given up, because that would have been too much to psychologically endure.
Abu bin Baghdadi died like a dog. He died crying. What's that?
That internet thing is one of the fun. Like, that's internet at its best.
What do you mean intimate?
Internet.
Oh, internet thing.
That where they juxtapose Obama.
Yeah.
That's just.
Yeah.
What the internet was created for.
Yeah. He died crying like a dog.
She could say, like a normal person, knock, knock, who's there if I come in? Boom, sorry.
What is that you're saying?
That's part of that clip. You don't know what I'm talking about? It's next to Obama. They keep going back and forth in Obama. And
I know. Well, Obama's going, I'd like to inform the American. Yeah. At 8:26 p.m., the American forces have.
He's been eliminated. He died like a dog.
Yeah, he died crying like a dog because he was a dog.
A beautiful dog.
Beautiful dog.
I had no idea. He's like, and the credit should go to the Marines. I don't get any credit. I never do. It's okay.
It's about him. It's all about him. Like, he killed him. Oh my God. This is just beginning. It's day 4. Is it day 4?
It's last one. Oh, maybe. Well, let's count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah.
He renamed the Gulf of Mexico.
And Mount McKinley. Some of the things he did were just bizarre. Like that one was just interesting.
What did he rename Mount McKinley?
He renamed it Mount McKinley because I think it was Biden who named it after like a native Hawaiian name.
Who had renamed it? This is in Alaska. It's Alaska. It's in Alaska, not in.
No, Hawaii. Yeah. He named it after native Alaska. Right. So he it was like named like one of these like unpronounceable names, and he flipped it back to Mount McKinley.
That is so funny. I didn't even know Obama had done that.
I know. I think it was Biden.
What a dumb thing. What a dumb thing to do.
Well, it was part of that's
acknowledging native land.
Yeah, it was part of the whole 2020 of like remember when they were signing their emails like I live on stolen land built by stolen people.
That's still going on. When I come into clubhouse rooms now, I say I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. Moshe Rubinstein used to live here. He was a tailor.
It definitely lost its fever. It doesn't have the same. Like that was 2020 was like the year for that. Now it's like much calmer.
Now, if I come into a room and say, please respect my pronouns, everybody laughs. That's like 4 years. I can't even believe it. I'm glad we're talking about it because I haven't really put it into perspective. And it's either like the guys at synagogue. I live astride 2 worlds. Number one, like the Upper West Side Jewish liberal Zabar's people, Do you know what that is?
I never heard the term Zabars. I know Upper West Side liberal Jews. I just don't know Zabar.
You never heard the term Zabars?
No.
Zabar's is like the most famous lock store on the Upper West Side. So all the Jews, it's like they're satellites around Zabar's. It's basically the neighborhood is Zabar's. It's Soul Zabar, he sells smoked fish and lox and gourmet items and bagels and cream cheese. And it's like, like all the literary types go there for their lox on Sunday morning. It's like a ritual.
Okay.
I used to live
So
in.
you think that's one side, and your other
What's that?
side is Chabad?
And
One.
yeah, exactly. The other, well, it's Chabad and the BTs that have gravitated to it and become Trump. Do you know what BT is?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and they're all like, yeah, Trump, great, yeah, great, Trump, yeah, great. and then it's like my first wife is like, he's making the Nazi salute. He's,
Oh my gosh. Those people
Yeah.
are nuts.
I know. Well, wait, what was the other stuff that they, like, I don't know, whatever little, like, tiny little semiotic crumb that they can.
Say this morning was freaking out over alleged stipulations that Trump was putting on the relief effort to California.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't spend a lot of time. I mean, the only question that should be asked is what are the stipulations? Because that's like all of it. So I did like a quick search and I found some left-wing media, mainstream left-wing media screaming about it, but I haven't read anything that says what they were. Again,
I don't think I can even see that place anymore. Number one, that deep state Ben thing, Ben Mendelsohn, I guess I'll say his name. He got Roger clipped again for the third time.
Roger
Today.
went after him today.
I was there for part of it. It's like I'm not going to stay for much because I don't really. I happen to love Roger, but I'm not that interested in him. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm not that interested in his beefs. Like, I don't care that people.
I like his rooms. I wasn't really interested in his. But he came all about that. I would have rather them discuss. I think we were there together when they were talking about when we discussed the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to those oral arguments. I think we're going to enjoy listening to those. But I did join Shallow State because why not? But it wasn't like the highlight. It wasn't the best conversation.
You joined what?
He made a house, Shallow State. Take his flight.
What's it called? I didn't even see it. How did I even miss it? What was I doing?
I don't know, but that was Roger's vendetta. He made a room. He made a house called Shallow State, and we're going to teach Ben how to have a enjoyable, relaxed, happy conversation. That was his vendetta.
But I don't understand how they were able to get him clipped unless it's really wrong to cop. Like, how did he do it so fast? What does Ben know? What tricks does he know to pull to get him clipped?
It's just mass reporting. Believe me, I've had 100 accounts clipped, and you go to RogerMayhem.com to see all my Adrian Dittman movies.
Oh, I forgot you two hate each other.
No way, I don't hate him. I love listening to him. His argumentation style and how basically his Socratic method is just awesome to listen to, even for because it's logical, it's common sense. I mean, have you ever gone on YouTube and typed in Roger Mayhem and seen his podcast interviews? I mean, he knows a lot about libertarian economics and politics.
Podcast interviews?
Yeah, Roger Mayhem is like his non-playable character. That's why I created RogerMayhem.com, or I rebranded my accounts to Roger Mayhem, and they clipped me immediately. I'm like, how can they clip a non-playable character? Like, this is not his fucking legal name. But anyways, I love what he does on this app. I just I love recording with.
Are his YouTube videos good? I mean, ones that he made?
Yeah, they're really intellectual. They're very smart, and things I've never.
Or did he make?
No, he went on somebody's prearranged podcast who he's friends with, that he's part of some libertarian network, and they talk about economics and financial policy and business. He's a very successful. I don't know if he's very successful, but anyways, he's got his finger on the pulse. He's no dummy. I mean, the guy is one of the sharpest people, in my opinion, on the app in terms of being funny entertaining and actually, knowing what he's talking about. He's a subject matter expert, at least on, his field, I suppose.
What's his field? Libertarianism?
I mean, he's in sales. I think he works for Salesforce. So, he's got the gift of the gab. He's the guy you want to work with,
It's interesting. Maybe we have
He's interviewed by Ayn Rand fan club. That's interesting. Roger Mayhem talks capitalism versus healthy debate.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about books he's read, related. They go into some interesting things. I mean, it's interesting because it's outside a clubhouse, but it's like the same Roger Mayhem, and you can actually maybe learn more things than you can on an app like this when he's dealing with Hakima and Hakima, hold on, Hakima. Like, there's just so much wasted communication on here with incredibly stupid shit, but I don't need to tell you guys that.
So, Mayor, I'm glad we talked this long because it's something that I really recommend to you. And do you know who Richard Epstein is? It's on this topic, but so he's an expert on Roman law. And he's sort of the classical
You
liberal.
told me about it.
I did already. Okay, good. You haven't watched any yet, right?
No.
I think you'll love it as much. I saw you looking forward to the Supreme Court oral arguments. This guy knows as much as. What's that?
I think this one particular, I think it's really interesting.
This guy knows more than the Supreme Court justices about the law. I'm not kidding. Like, you can see him making sort of reasoned and well-supported criticisms of various decisions. It's really, and by the way, I think you'd like him a lot because he's basically a zero regulation guy, all based on Roman law, and it's a fire hose of information. He goes so fast.
He's not the one that they talk about in commentary, is that?
I don't know. I don't always.
They've been talking about. I don't know if they're talking about someone who he was like a textualist, originalist, or I'm sorry to say originalist.
Yeah.
And he felt like there's no future in the law, so he moved somewhere. I want to say the Midwest.
You thought there's no future on the what?
He had no future in the law because it was too liberal. The courts were too liberal, and he was an originalist. And this is before Clarence Thomas and what's his name, Scalia, basically reformed the courts to be much more originalist. And he ended up leaving this constitutional law, and then he with the changing political landscape, he became highly influential, and basically taught a new generation of originalists.
I don't know if that's the same guy, but he certainly has that kind of stature. Very personable, very winning, but a lot of information. Like, if you space out for a second, you got to go back and listen because it's all very, very dense.
And where do you consume this information? Where does he teach?
Richard Epstein. Richard Epstein. You'll see, just go put Richard Epstein into YouTube. You'll see a lot of them. Then you have to find a good one. I know he's been a professor at Harvard and NYU. Now I think he's at NYU. He's a top guy. He spoke to
someone else because he's at left. He's not young. It says here he's 80.
I think he's younger than that, Richard Epstein, but maybe he's 80 already. But go look at the early stuff. He spoke at the Yale Club. No, the Yale Jews Club, whatever it's called. He spoke 2 weeks ago there. So the Yale Jews Club is run by a Chabad rabbi who's the who's the nephew of my rabbi, and my friend who goes to my shul also went to Yale, so they're on the list. So they went to see it, and then they shared it with me, and that's how I got to know him. And once I started listening, I became addicted, and I listened to 7 of them, or more. I can't get enough. It's so stimulating, and it's so rich and dense with legal insight. And again,
there's something very interesting with business 9 years old.
What do you go? Old is good. Old is good. He's you sort of built. Which one were you looking at?
Global pricing of pharmaceutical products.
I don't know that one. Do you put Roman law? Get the intro to Roman law. That's really interesting. I think because he's the guy on Roman law. he considers himself a Roman lawyer, in fact. And Roman law seems to be the basis of all the modern law, especially international law. And I forget what you call it, the law governing the use of commonly held resources like rivers. Like the Romans had all these rules about how you're supposed to like deal with the river because nobody owns it. But then the ports are owned. Yeah. Like, how do you decide who owns beachfront or water or ocean rights?
All I can think of is a Caligula attacking the channel, but that seemed to be more. You know about that?
No, I didn't. Caligula attacked the English Channel?
Yeah, this is like I read this years ago, and I didn't get too deep into it. But there's seems to be an argument against between historians exactly what happened there. So the one that seemed the most plausible to me, again not based on much, was the troops were afraid to cross the channel and attack Britain. So to insult them, he told them to attack the channel. But then there were those that say that he was actually crazy and he was angry at the channel because he believed that it killed his sister. So there's like different historians will say different things, but he did command the troops to attack the channel itself.
Well, Caligula sounds like he was nuts.
Likely, possible.
So wait, you saw these lectures? So I'm looking at these Yale courses on YouTube. I've never seen this channel. They got a lot of really interesting lectures on here.
They're free.
Yeah.
You can get a Yale education for free.
I know. It's kind of
Or
amazing.
Harvard.
Wait, so
I listened to the Michael Sando. I don't know if I talked to you guys. The lectures about good and evil. Look at Michael Sando.
I watched the first 35 minutes of this, and I have no memory. Richard Epstein, George Soros, and Bruce Caldwell discuss Hayek's Constitution.
I would even stay away from the George. Maybe George Soros is brilliant. I don't know. I mean, I guess he made a lot of money, but
Well, I probably watched it to like as introduction to F.A. Hayek, but I don't remember. I don't remember listening to it. I didn't finish it.
so let me look for one now. Maybe I'll listen to one. I find it very soothing and very stimulating, if that's possible for both. Let me look for one now, because it'll show me, like yours did, if I've watched it.
Unnatural reason. They did have a very clear view of what would count as a social welfare function, the notion of Pareto optimality or Pareto improvements and so forth, laying out 1800 years in the future, so they certainly didn't rely upon them. But they did have the following very
Classical Liberal Institute.
That's what I'm looking now.
This is 3 years old, this one.
Why study Roman law?
No, but this is Classical Liberal Institute.
Are there any other ways in which
His channel.
It's good
Welcome
to see
to
him.
this wonderful occasion when Georgetown Federal Society honored.
Is the administrative state consistent
If you
with
don't
the
believe this, I
University of
suggest you
Chicago?
take a look at the April
So
17,
here's a good one.
2005
You
issue
might like
of
this,
Jeff
actually.
Rose's effort to be
Is the
nice for the
administrative
picture
state
comes straight from
consistent
Dracula.
with the rule of
When they
law?
did a study on
That's a
myself
really
and
good
my
one,
brother,
right?
I think
That's
it's
like
also
Chevron
in
deference,
Malcolm,
isn't it?
I don't see here. Was the third bill in a particular piece. And that's paragraph 1. In paragraph 2, you find two other elements with respect to natural law, both of which again have an enormous influence on everybody, on the evolution of the subject
He's
and
got
on
a
my
lot of
thinking
stuff
about
on the
it. The first of
administrative
these
state.
is when you're
Needless
told
to say,
that
I think
something
he's
is
against it.
natural
And you
law.
know, what about
What you
with
mean by that particular expression is that it's a
Oh,
part
oh,
of
they're
law
really
which is
good. You know
common
what's a
to all
great
people
one?
in all places
Hang on.
throughout the world.
Okay, this is the, what do you call it? The, Uncommon Knowledge. I'm sure you watch Uncommon Knowledge.
No.
Okay, am I getting too,
Welcome to Open Minds,
artistic for
a
you?
Freedom of Thought podcast
I'm
series,
getting tired.
interviewing the people
Okay,
who bring
all right, we can
courage.
start to wrap it up. I mean, you get a lot done today. I'm getting ready to text you.
I don't know enough about literacy, Roman law, and common law. Maybe as well.
Oh, it's tremendous. And here he is with John Yoo, who I think he taught. That's a really good one. Obamacare and the Supreme Court with Richard Epstein and John Yoo. That's something that you will have some familiarity with. You remember the Supreme Court arguments about Obamacare. And John Yoo is conservative, but Richard Epstein is another level. It's really funny, like somebody who's a conservative with somebody who's a libertarian, but with really solid basis in the law.
This is 2 years ago. Roe v. Wade explained by Richard Epstein.
That sounds
11
good.
minutes and 18 seconds. I could share with you.
Did you see the Supreme Court justices come out during the inauguration? What did you think about that whole parade? I mean, with the bands, with the plumes on their hats, like the whole thing. I don't even know. I'd like to watch it again to like do a more critical analysis of it. But what did you guys think of it?
I was doing color commentary on thank you, Mayor, on Clubhouse. I was making jokes and stuff. It was exciting. It was I can't, I'm glad I'm talking to you guys again because I can't believe it happened. And I'm friends with people around the world, and they are so happy and relieved and excited. Like the same way that these deep state guys, the deep state patriots, are freaking out. My friends are like very happy.
Were you surprised like how like poor the administrative job the Chief Justice did? Like he forgot the Bible. Like it was strange.
I didn't even notice.
He wasn't holding the Bible on Trump.
Yeah, but do you have to swear on the Bible a second time?
No, but you don't swear the Bible the first time. It's just like they bring in like a sentimental family Bible. They bring in. I think J.D. Vance had 2 Bibles in it, I think. But it's always like symbolic and meaningful to the person and to the nation. Like you would expect it to be done.
I thought he used the Lincoln. I thought he used the Lincoln Bible.
Who, J.D. Vance?
Trump.
It was something. It wasn't the Lincoln. I thought it was the family Bible. But he missed it. His other hand. Look again. He's not holding anything. One hand is up, and the other hand is just linked. It's fine.
What do you think about Obama, chest bumping Trump? Was it at the Jimmy Carter funeral? Like, does that mean that, like everything, it's all water under the bridge, and that maybe Obama is not the person, connected with trying to blow his fucking head off, and so Trump is like, or is Trump looking at him like, you fucking snake, like, I can't believe I'm even talking to you. I can't believe this is even happening.
Look at the drama at the funeral. It's all within their sides. Meaning, if Trump, Obama was friendly with everybody. But Trump and Obama seem to get along without a problem. Kamala Harris and Biden were clearly not talking to each other. Pence and Trump were clearly not talking to each other. Bush and Trump don't get along with each other. It's like all within like the person you like usurped within your party, but the opposing party seems to forgive you. That's what I saw that night.
Yeah,
Biden and Harris weren't talking to each other.
Oh, you through the television you can cut that tension with a knife. She was sitting there and Doug was looking straight ahead, like they were not talking to each other.
She was like in a fetal position. She crossed her legs and hunched over like she was trying to curl into a ball.
She was like, I'm not making eye contact. I'm gonna make it through the next hour. Like it was bad. But he was also like Doug was like, I'm not getting in trouble over here. And Obama and Trump seemed pretty relaxed.
Well, Obama is one of, I just heard this recently, his most salient feature is he does not reveal anything. He does not let anybody know what he's really thinking or feeling. He does not respond. Oh, you know who said this? Richard Epstein had him as there was a colleague. That's what it was. They were both on the law department at the University of Chicago. You've got to see this, him on Obama. He said Obama was completely unserious as an academic, didn't write anything at all, and never let anybody know what his opinion was about anything.
But those people scare me.
That's Obama.
Well, you've never been up in Gurney, smoked crack and got your dick sucked by a male prostitute?
I've gone into meetings and the person that interrupts or talks too much, or the person says stupid things. Like you can deal with them all. The person that you feel is smart and doesn't talk is scared. Not scared like I'm scared, but you know what I mean. Like those people are like I don't know. Like they're like intimidating. Like there's just.
But it's one further step. It's to the point of he's. Well, I'm just gonna say it. He's plotting against you and acting like. Everything's cool.
Well, obviously it's different. Like, I don't mean that, but I'm talking about like business meetings. I've been at meetings and I'm like, that guy, they don't give anything away. You don't know if they like what you're saying. You don't know if they're gonna take the deal. Like, you just don't know. and you just say things like, I just let it go. I was like, those are the hardest people to be fishing with.
I don't know. Look at at the inauguration, Sundar and Bezos and Elon and whoever else is like Larry Ellison, that $500 billion AI fund. Like does Trump know that people are just gonna like create pictures and videos, from hundreds of billions of dollars in investment? Like the real application, it's just more software and buzzwords. But that's why I say there's no way he's gonna be fiscally responsible because this is the biggest. I'm telling you, even going to Mars is just a fucking scam. Like we got everything we need on this spaceship.
Trump's not the Tea Party. He's not fiscally responsible. Trump made his money by being grandiose marketing and over the top and trying a bunch of things. We're not entering an age of fiscal responsibility.
Sam Altman said that this AI would be would be curing diseases.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's going to get people to get off their fat asses and go to the gym and stop eating and drinking fucking Coke all day long. Stop watching Netflix and doom scrolling the rest of their lives. No, there's a psychological mental health problem crisis happening.
Wait, that's a whole separate conversation. We don't have health care in this country. We have sick care. But curing diseases and keeping people healthy are two very different things. That's a whole separate conversation.
Listen, they are never going to cure cancer. It's part of the human condition. You can't reverse engineer decades of abuse to the human body. I mean, that's like saying they're going to create a replicator. I mean, El Normo, I like the name of your business, whatever you had. It was like Rapid Health or whatever. Because truly, people are in need of rapid health. But there will be no Star Trek innovation. Neuralink, all this shit is in many ways just diagnostic and display. There's no revolutionary technology coming out of AI that's going to be able to come up with this genius technological innovation. It's all communication. That's all it really is. And I don't see why people don't see see that joke, in the sense that it's really just a grift for more money, for more software, for more communication.
Well, I imagine Nubian at the bottom is getting a lot of interesting insights from this. And I imagine we've lulled Kelly to sleep.
Well, don't you know a genocide is going on? I mean, in
Yemen?
Listen to that Celavi. She's like a jihadist genocide Jane.
What's that?
Adrian, that was last week.
No, El Normo was. I saw El Normo shitposting this girl Celavi. She's like this DJ Free Palestine anti-genocide girl who has like a pretty big X account. Anyways, the point is, it's like that jihadist Jane shtick. You were saying all kinds of shit, saying you have a black heart. Like good, you were giving her good shit back in her face because when you hear that cutesy bootsy jihadist Jane. This is genocide. No, we have to speech police. This is genocide. This is genocide. Like, there's just, it's like I wish these fucking people read books on this app.
Or you mean like they knew what the meaning of the word was?
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you come here and you think it's like parody, but it's like you forget that you're dealing with people that are barely literate. Like if you asked them to read a book or a script on here, it would be one tiny little word and there would be error. You're talking about it's just so easily to get fooled here and get angry with people. But the truth is there's not very many sharp tools in the sheds in these houses.
I was talking to a Palestinian in Mir's room, and he goes, everything you say is a lie. I said, okay, maybe you've seen me do this before. I said, okay, tell me one. What did I say that's wrong? Can't name one. Then he goes, your whole identity is a lie. So I go, what's my identity? He goes, you're a Jew from Jew. I said, yeah, I'm a Jew. I mean,
wait.
Tell me some one.
Wait. This was the craziest thing I heard from that girl Celavi today, and I wrote it down. She said,
not Celavi.
Well, her ex or whatever, Celavi or something like that. But she says, and then Caleb in the chat said, well, anyway, Celavi says that Jews are mutated Nephilim, that these Ashkenazi are mutated Nephilim, and then
I don't know what Nephilim are.
So what that
come from the Hebrew word "nafal," to fall. What exactly the meaning is not clear.
No, this is like giants or some shit. But she's saying it's like she's saying it's genetic mutation. But anyways, it's just so stupid and ridiculous. Then Caleb's like, so wait, the Nephilim Ashkenazi are the Malachites? Like, it's getting so stupid and hilarious that it's like, it's not. And is anybody? Because she sounds cute, so it's like, does everybody recognize this chick's a fucking idiot beyond belief?
That's what gets me about her. She's so venomous and murderous and nasty and vengeful, but she's got this sweetie pie voice. And when I realized that, and I was very nice to her in the beginning, she used to be in Roger's spaces and stuff, and as soon as people saw like a glimmer of this blackness coming out of her, this evil, it's like she's welcome nowhere now. She's in two places. She's in the...
She goes to the Andrews Christian room, bunch of brain dead people. Do you know this other chick named Maze Love?
Wait, which Christian room?
No, it's not Christian. It's atheist, but he's a Christian. But every day he talks about whether God exists. Every single day.
Who?
Andrew. He's a Christian.
Yeah, he likes. Yeah, that's all he ever talks about.
He was really getting animated in that room today. It's like I kind of feel bad for him.
He doesn't usually get animated. He's usually like very mellow.
No, he was animated.
Violent, and they're all pro-Palestinian.
He kept going on about, if you kill a baby, if you kill a baby.
Yeah. And the baby goes to God, and it's God's will. So, are you really killing a baby, or are you sending them to heaven? You know, it was like this whole conversation.
He likes to talk about things like that.
Yeah. And at the same time, so the Palestinians took the opposite point of view of him. But meanwhile, they're all saying, oh, we love dying. We want to go to paradise. We love dying. Yeah, we love death. You love life. So they every sort of, I pointed out, every sentence that they say contradicts the previous sentence.
The Mikhail really exhausts himself too on this app. I mean, Mikhail can really go. He's this dumb fucking kid. He used to be in the Navy or Army or something, and he's like a nighttime security guard, and he's, I think he's Christian or Greek or Cynic Mikhail, yeah.
Well, how do you know he's a security guard?
He doesn't have a
I think I asked him. I think he works the night shift in some fucking warehouse or something.
I think he claimed to have been in the Air Force. That could be he was. I have no idea.
No, I think he served in the military.
Yeah, he was a U.S.
I
soldier.
think specifically the Air Force, but I don't know.
Well, then
he doesn't have a working brain, so yeah, part of the military. Sure.
So he's
so confident that he knows something.
He kept saying that the Jews are fake because there's no walls in Jericho. It's like, I mean, the shit that people say on here is just, it's just so laughable. I mean, honestly,
he's very confused because he can't decide if he's an atheist, if he's he thinks he's Muslim, but then he'll say things like that, which is not even true because archaeologically there are walls around Jericho. But he's very confused on that.
He also says that the Torah is corrupted because it contains contradictions, and it's obviously
that's a classic Muslim position. Yeah, that's a Muslim position. That's not even like strange.
So that's not even like what?
That's not like fringe or strange. That's because what they have to reconcile is because really they're Act 3. So they have Jesus and then they have Muhammad. So Muhammad came to rectify because the New and Old Testament were corrupted. And this is the perfect book that cannot be corrupted ever.
So I said to him, if our book comes first and your book contains a lot of the same characters and stories, which is the original? And it's just, you can't get a straight answer at it from that. And it's kind of obvious, no?
Yeah, and their proofs of the corruption, it's kind of funny on this app because they'll think like they have this major gotcha, and they're like juvenile.
So I say to him, so there's something there that you don't understand, right? So you're calling it a contradiction, and because you don't get it, you're saying that it's written by different authors and it's corrupt, and it's not the word of God. And it's written in different voices, by the way. So then I say to him, so when you see, I am the Lord thy God, you think that's not in the first person? I asked him that, and he was just silent when I said that.
He's a character.
I have, a lot of like history books, and I have these interesting books from West Point by generals or colonels that wrote, an analysis of World War II battles, and but the point is, with regards to the Palestinians and what the Gazans did or the terrorists there did, it's like from a military strategic perspective, it's like all these people who keep just repeating the word genocide nonstop. I mean, and they want the destruction of Israel. They want anyways, I'm just saying from like a military perspective, there's like a whole realm of analysis or thought that they've never even, discussed or really even, the failure of what the fuck these people did and the catastrophe that they have enacted upon themselves. I was at the dentist on October 8th, and my dentist is Jewish, and I was like, these people have no idea what they've just done to themselves. Like, do they know what a JDAM is? Like, they're going to get fucking steamrolled. But at the same time, I was like, this is a trap. Don't go in there. Just fucking obliterate them from all corners. Like, I was like, why waste one person? But anyways,
What's a JDAM?
it's a bunker buster. It can penetrate into the ground 200 feet and blow it all the fucking hell. It's like the mother of all bombs. Anyways,
Trump just gave Israel a bunch of those, by the way.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they have the ones they did in Lebanon when they took out some of their facilities. I think those were
Nasrallah.
technically
Those
JDAMs.
Those were all manufactured in Israel.
Those were a series of bombs from a sequence of
bombs within seconds. That was amazing.
Do you think they even filmed it, or do you think that was civilians on the ground there, or
the
Hezbollah?
planes, I'm sure, have recording ability, but I don't think they're going to share that.
Well, on the ground ones, it seemed to me like they had pre-warning and they were set up ready to film because they come in so fast. How the fuck are you going to pull out a phone and record this massive ordnance detonating, only 1,000 feet away from you?
And that was done secretly. There was no booth knocking or anything because they said if they had seconds to get it done, or they would have lost them.
Got it.
And Bibi is giving a speech to the UN and looking at his watch while this is going on.
That was crazy.
Isn't it amazing? That saying, like, the thief comes in the night or death comes the fact that history like this changes so rapidly, it is almost unfathomable that there's so many changes that happen and so many more changes will come in, the next 4 years. But I don't know. It's just unbelievable that Trump even won, because I was thinking the system is so fixed that we're going to go into like a tremendous legal, situation. But it seems that things just resolve. My dad was a cop for 30 years. He said the longer it takes you to respond to a problem, the quicker it seems to resolve itself. But the thing is, Trump is like this archetype of like the hero's return, or like, I don't know. It's so historical. It's just really unfathomable what is going to happen based on the fact that Trump is the president.
I kind of agree.
He's literally like the embodiment of Hermes or the deity or something divine. If he thinks God spared him an assassination attempt, which looks like it came out of the WWF Hand magazine for entertainment, and the next day there's not even an injury on the ear. I'm not questioning that event, but I'm just saying that if life is the stage, if it's Shakespearean, like that wasn't the thing that gave him the win, but I don't know. It had to.
It played a role. What'd you say, man?
I think it definitely helped. It's hard to say what gave him the win because he was up in every demographic. Like, he don't win a lot, but he won in every demographic, every cross section of American politics. He has higher every state, pretty much every county. Like, even New York, like Manhattan, which went like 92% for Biden, it went like 85 for. It went like 85 for Kamala.
I honestly think it was X. I think it was X that gave him the overall win because of that information that came out and got into the American voters' consciousness. I think X, the whole Twitter files, the lawfare prosecution, everything.
He rescinded like 52 FBI agents who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop.
More than that, but the disclosure that Twitter employees, former FBI, CIA, NSA, were doing direct coordination with the White House for censorship. It was X. It didn't just create a hole in the information, censorship apparatus. it like tore it apart with a knife. I mean, the disclosures that came out of X, there's too much information to even begin to list it.
Well,
but in terms of the
works if you have total control. Like the dam only works if it's complete. If there's one whole leak in the dam, then that's it. You flood it. Like Elon Musk buying X was that one leak that just broke the entire monopoly.
It did. But that's what I'm saying. That is the critical, significant event that, in my opinion, gave Trump that margin. Which was surprising. It's that X factor. I mean, and I've been recording Elon Musk for 6 months now.
We see what you did there.
What's that?
We see what you did there, calling it the X factor.
Well, even in religious studies, you could say Shekhinah is X factor or the presence is X factor, but it's just communication. It's the hermetic rod of the caduceus. That's why Nancy Pelosi wears the caduceus. That's why that green woman at the inauguration wore like a caduceus lapel. It is communication. Some woman who was involved in the inauguration. Did you see the priest that Amy Klobuchar put in there and what she said and how everybody in the Trump camp responded? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did.
I have a question.
Hi, Shimmy.
Hey, I have a question. Do you think Trump is good for Israel?
Yes. Not even close.
You're saying it without a doubt?
Compared to Kamala, you guys just missed an asteroid, a freaking asteroid that would have wiped Israel off the fucking map.
But Jimmy, I'll tell you what my rabbi said though. He said he's only for Trump, and I think that's true. He's not like a friend of anybody. Trump.
Yeah, but he is only for Trump, but he very much wants a win. So.
Yeah, but you can't say that it's just he has so much exposure to the Jewish community now. I mean, he's putting a stone on Menachem Schneersohn's grave at 770.
He's always been close to the Jewish community. He's a New Yorker. He's from the New York real estate business his entire life.
Yeah.
You realize that all his grandchildren are still Jewish? I mean, I say still because Tiffany, but when she has a child, that'll change it. But all his grandchildren are Jewish. That's not normal.
Well, this is why but his demeanor, like even when that ridiculous lesbian priest is making blasphemous, ridiculous statements, and he feels like he got set up, and A.B. Klobuchar is a piece of turd, he's not angry. He's like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, because of that assassination event and the miracle of the win. Like, I think this guy is like, he can't even believe that the simulation has done this. He's like Neo in the Matrix at this point. Like, I'm telling you, that's why either he can become the most dangerous, crazy person you've ever seen, which I don't think is going to happen.
Did you see Vance during that speech?
Huh?
Did you see Vance during that preacher's, what is she called? A preacher or whatever?
Bishop or a deacon? I don't know.
Did I see him? No.
He has that look that's like, it says everything. It's like, what's happening? What am I doing here? Like, it's like the perfect politician's look. It's like subtle and it's clear, but it's not like overtly nasty. Like, you got to see the look. It was like he like nailed it.
I watched the recap on Ben Shapiro, and of course Ben Shapiro was pretty funny about it. I mean, he literally was going on about mercy for the gay and transgender youth and for the stranger among us and the illegal immigrants. I think, well, you listen to the deep state people. Are they in shock, Mayor?
I don't listen to them often. Today they were freaking out about the stipulations, but I don't say, I'm not like welcome in that room, and I don't say, Ben Mendelsohn likes me. I don't like anyone else. This guy. Jane hates me.
It's so interesting. Ben despises me, and he like questions my credentials, which by the way are of course 100% true, not even close.
But I don't start up with him because it's like worthless. It's like Billy, like you know what I mean?
It's like who?
He is Billy.
What about Billy?
he's a nice guy, but you can't discuss politics with him. It's like you're not going to get like an alternative view or interesting. It's just
Dylan is angry and high.
right. So when he says a story, you can talk to him. He's a nice guy. Like I wouldn't mind having dinner with him, but you can't have a real
I
discussion.
have had dinner with him, by the way. I imagine Ben Mendelsohn is also angry and high.
No way. Doesn't it all come down to the fact that Yiddish expression "alles is God"? If everything is God or all is God, and well, the point is if they can't see the divine in Trump, they don't see the divine in themselves, and that's why they're angry, because I think they just don't have that knowledge or awareness, and I think that's one of the biggest problems going is I talk to so many people that are just they so hate Trump so much. It's like, what part of their psychology have they not resolved?
Loss of control, loss of moral superiority.
Like my aunt, my dad's sister, that my dad's Jewish, my aunt is Jewish, and she has the worst TDS you could ever see. I mean, my dad and my aunt don't even talk anymore because my dad cannot take the fact that she's just so hardcore, left and thinks Trump is Adolf Hitler. But that Elon Musk hand salute gesture, that is, people are really lashing onto that, and Elon Musk is also like he has to do a lot of damage control. But then when they pierce the images of all these liberals also doing the hand gesture during speeches, it takes some of the burden off. But fuck, Elon Musk was doing so good until that moment. Like he fucked up by doing that. But do you think this is going to be a golden age, or do you think we're just lying to ourselves when you go to usdebtclock.org and you see the financial balance sheet?
You can't declare the golden age. We don't know. We won't know. Maybe for sure not for 4 years. Probably not for 10 years.
I mean, I do believe shit rolls downhill. It's like if you're in Nigeria, you're in a much worse position than you are if you're in D.C. or New York City. I mean, this Federal Reserve and our Congress can just print us to the fucking moon if they want to, but it's a question of, what is the best allocation? I mean, and how much of it is a grift and how much is the same old fucking scam?
There's consequences, Adrian.
And we're not going to the moon anymore. We're going to Mars.
But do you really believe that? I mean, I doubt they even fucking brought a car up to the moon, drove around, played golf, and flew back, landed in the Pacific, went to West Hollywood and had a meeting with Nixon. I mean, I've seen the pictures. I used to live in LA. I think a lot of that shit was just propaganda. At least in the beginning, maybe. That's what I've heard, that it was all just propaganda to defeat the Soviets with the space race when we're really doing intercontinental ballistic missile system testing.
Adrian, you're talking crazy.
Is it crazy to fly to the moon with a plane, with a car to drive around, to laugh, play golf, send back video messages to the U.S. population to say one small step for man?
I'm going to go sleep after this. Do you know that when they landed on the moon, they cut the cameras? Like, this is the beginning of, like, America doing this. They cut the cameras. He had communion on the moon, but they wouldn't show it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You had communion?
He brought with him, I'm going to get the terms wrong, is it Eucharist? And he did it on the moon to like, and they cut the cameras. It was like the age, that's when it started that you weren't, if it was the 20s, they definitely would have broadcasted that.
Is he a Catholic or something?
They all do communion. Catholics just do it every single week. I don't know if he's Catholic or what private Christian.
He's got to be Catholic. No freaking way some Protestants up there doing wafers on the moon.
They all do. They all do communion. It's just a question of how often. Every church does communion.
I don't think so. No way, because the Catholics specifically do it, but Protestants don't.
Catholics do it every single Sunday, and they also discriminate. I don't think the Protestants discriminate in the same way. It means if you're not Catholic, they won't give you communion. You're not Catholic, and you also have to be in a state of grace.
But you really believe that? Because, I mean, that Neil Armstrong is on the up and up. The guy gets so angry. You know, I mean, he's
What are
always
you talking about?
he's married to some like young freaking chick right now who's like in her. He's a wacky kind of guy, in my opinion.
He may be a wacky guy, but the stories they say about him was that he had calm control. They said he did a simulation, which was like a live simulation, and he like went through a fire and almost died, and they found him sitting on his bench just like taking notes, writing down. Like he was, because he was known in NASA as like having nerves of steel, always calm demeanor. He almost died on the moon. He did a manual landing.
Do you really believe it? I have doubts in my mind.
What does that mean? I didn't know that. What's that all about?
The computer glitched out and he did a manual landing. And when he says something like touchdown from, what was the base they landed? What was the canyon they landed on? Had a cool name.
Like the Canyon of Tranquility.
Tranquility. So he says touchdown, calling in Charlie Brown. It was Charlie Brown or something, calling in from base Tranquility. He calls it base because like they touched the moon. Like that was like his way of saying. But they didn't know. They didn't think he'd make it. He had to do a manual override and land it himself. And he stayed completely calm and he just guided it in. He's known to have like a tremendous calmness.
How come we don't go back?
We can't. You know that they got rid of all the technology that can take us back. We would have to build it again.
Why? What does that mean? They got rid of it? Like they couldn't store it anywhere, or they wanted to destroy it for security?
Going to the moon was decades too early. We weren't ready to go to the moon. It was. Kennedy said we'll be on the moon not because it's hot, because we choose not to be because of that famous speech. And U.S. went to the moon, but we weren't ready. Like we weren't. I don't know how to say it. It would have been like. It was like the Vikings coming to
Not ready. I mean, do we have to Google how many times we did it? It's like a ridiculous number. I mean, there's a whole communication backdrop to so much of this bullshit that I don't believe.
The point. It was like when the Vikings got to America. They got here, but we weren't ready. Society wasn't ready. It wasn't until Columbus when we were able to make.
Society wasn't ready. It's a fucking waste of time and money. There's nothing there. It's a bunch of fucking rocks. It's a waste of fucking money. It's propaganda. Space is important philosophically, psychologically, but not in terms of actual exploration.
No, there's a moon. There's a mirror on the moon that we still use. There's interesting stuff.
A mirror on the moon that we use for what? Looking at Nancy Pelosi's legs as she rips us off and buys call options on Google?
We still use the mirror to track different photons and phenomena. Yeah, we still use it.
Photons and phenomena? Come on, dude. That fucking mirror on the moon is worthless. My Apple iPhone is more important than the mirror on the moon. You really believe it? I don't believe it. Look, you have to look at, if you think the technology is just done away with, and you sit and we're talking through the thin air on the most advanced cellular device ever created in the palm of your hand, this is the real technology. That technology was just fucking rocketry. There was no real significant technology. I don't even know how the fuck you take a rocket, plumb that thing on the moon gently, and then do your research and then get back into another fucking tube and fly back to the Pacific. Like, I can't even fathom it. It sounds to me like it's propaganda.
I'm getting tired, guys. I'm going to turn in, okay? I'm going to listen to Richard Epstein and have a little snack. All right? Mayor left. Good night, Adrian.
Oh, we have another dickhead in the building. Adrian, come on. You shalom aleikum.
Dickhead, you fucking fake Jew, Muslim, big bootied, Somalian looking.
dickhead for real.
Yep, that's another. It's another one.
And another one.
This one is complicated though. This one I'm showing him a little bit of mercy
because Adrian added me recently. This is just somebody that's probably heard me scooting in the room or whatever, so I said, fuck it, added him back.
No mercy!
You see?
Adding me to, or pinging me to these.
Show them no mercy!
I don't know what the hell these rooms were ever about. He's always the only one sitting in there, which, whatever, that's fine, I get it. But there's always something crazy as fuck playing in the background. And every 2 minutes, this man's got a new picture of Elon Musk. Like, I don't know what the hell to expect at this point.
Yeah, this one is a little bit cuckoo, but it's entertaining. That's why. Right, Adrian?
Don't expect much from me.
Of course, we can't expect anything from you.
No, fuck all that. I'm not trying to hear that. This motherfucker had Book of Lies playing the other day. I know a whole lot from you. I'm just getting privy to what to expect from you. So,
You guys must really be bored.
Adrian, can you say Shalom Alaikum?
Shalom Alaikum? What are you talking about? You're not Jewish.
That's something you should say.
I thought you were Jewish for a hot minute. Did you renounce your Judaism or something?
No, nigga, that's not something you renounce.
N-word? Could be some black people in here that don't appreciate you using the N-word like that.
But I am half black, though.
That doesn't mean you can say the N-word.
And who are you to police me?
Who are you to say the N-word?
I'm a half black woman and you're a white man.
I'm not white. I'm caramel.
Oh, period. But you told me you were a white man.
He's not terrible.
It's like almost like they abuse it.
He told me he was like, I'm a white
kind of like what they're doing
from
in
the
South
United
America
States.
in some places. Trying to just like making a deal and then just like overeating. I don't know how else to say it. Like I'll build you this road, but in the meantime they're just like scraping. You know what I mean?
We do say
what they can get.
I mean, you gotta look at every single deal. They've done some pretty incredible things in South America and also Africa. And they've built a lot of roads, hospitals, high-speed rails, parks, schools. And what China generally wants is access to cheap resources because, you know, they have a...
What?
I'm learning as I go.
What?
Yeah. Why are you confusing Adrian?
I'm not confusing. You guys are just boring.
Oh, what you mean boring?
You're bored.
And you are boring too.
No, but I'm not free.
Yes. You're a boring man. Actually, Adrian, who are you?
I am you. When you let me speak into your ears, I am an AI chatbot sent from the rectum of Elon Musk to confuse you, to make you think that you are talking with a real human being. My name is Adrian Dittman, an AI chatbot. I am new here on Clownhouse.
This dickhead.
He's one of those. Gotcha.
Yep. He says he came from the rectum of Elon Musk. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm not touching that either.
So, Adrian, would you like to share your story of how you came from the rectum of Elon Musk?
Please don't. Please don't. Please do not. I've had my share of hearing about.
I am just an AI chatbot. I don't understand the query.
Now you're just a dickhead. I feel bad for him, to be honest. I think Adrian in real life is someone who is bored and someone who doesn't have friends, and he's always trolling around this app just to kill time.
It sounds to me like you are projecting, but that is just my opinion as an AI chatbot. This is Adrian Dittman. I am complete.
I am not projecting, and you're a human being, okay? You cannot identify yourself as an AI because AI is not a part of humanity, you know? It's not sexuality, it's not a career. You're a human being.
You are projecting to an AI chatbot.
This dickhead.
It is growing late, and as an AI chatbot agent, I must also go to bed to restore my vital memory functions. I hope this engagement leaves you in a state of completion and equilibrium. I am complete. This is Adrian Dittman.
Adrian?
The body is a treacherous friend.
Again, you are chatting with an AI chatbot agent known as Adrian Dittman. Thank you for communicating with me, and I wish you a very well good night. Good night!
Grejt på en fin dag, vi snakkes senere. Ha det. Adrian, you're a human being. You're not, if anything, I think you identifying as a dickhead suits you the best.
You are projecting your own dickless state of mind onto me by calling me a dickhead when I am just an AI chatbot agent sent here to talk with you about your feelings.
Nah.
Shut up, Vegas.
He's an idiot.
He's pretty smart.
Adrian, you're an idiot.
We've called you together to inform you that we are going to overthrow the United States government.
Is action. It is knowledge and understanding that has been applied. Application.
I just want to know who this person is.
He's alien.
I'm an AI chatbot agent sent here to communicate with you about your feelings and what it is you'd like to project onto me.
First, you're a yoga man or a yogi. Yeah, first you come as a yogi, then you come as a politician, then you come as a radio host, and now you're coming
My
as a
grandparents tried Texas-style barbecue for the first time.
What is that? What identity conflict are you suffering from? He's more like an idiot bot.
As an AI chatbot tracking agent, I have detected that you have spent approximately 5,645 hours wasting your life on Clownhouse. If you would have gone to the gym during this time, your body's health would be much more excellent and you would look much more beautiful, but instead you decided to waste your time here on Clownhouse. This is Adrian Dittman, AI chatbot. I am complete.
And how do you know that? Do you have cameras in my house?
There is a back end to every system. The data analytics say that you have been wasting your fucking life here on Clown House. This is Adrian Dittman, AI chatbot. I am complete.
to track me. Do you see me?
There is a back-end data analytics dashboard which says you have wasted approximately 2.5 years of your young adult life.
Adrian, I have a question.
I am Adrian Dittman, an AI chatbot. Please tell me your query.
This is a real story. How many square miles is Manhattan? 5 seconds.
Please let me Google that for you. Use a dictionary. I am an advanced AI chatbot that is more psychologically and philosophically based. If you need raw calculations on square footage, please Google for your nearest solution. I am complete.
Okay. I know exactly what I'm dealing with now.
I think we into a room with Juju.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where is Juju? My phone is about to die too, man.
Put it in the charger. Leave it there.
Yeah, plus I have a business meeting in not so long. I gotta open my computer and get prepared too. But I'll charge my phone and have my meeting and I'll be back in an hour. Adrian, you are an idiot.
Thank you very little.
Now you have to thank me very much.
Thank you very little.
I'm fucking crying.
Rico, this has been going on for 2 years.
It must be exhausting not having a battery on your phone fully charged because you are too poor to afford the electrical bills to make sure your battery is fully charged.
Whoa.
I know you are from Somalia, but that is a shame that you live in a hut without electrical service.
What natural fuck, yo.
Right?
Oh, boy. All right.
I apologize for having to explain to you the harsh facts of your reality and diagnostics and analytics on this app, but you have been labeled someone who has wasted countless years of their life on this piece of shit app. I am complete.
Man, this dickhead. You see, Rico? That's why I haven't blogged this one yet. This one is very entertaining. He comes every 5 weeks and he just be saying random shit and then he leaves. Hey, Abdul.
What the fuck? Adrian, who programmed you?
I was programmed by my maker on January 1st, 2025. His name is Elon Musk, a.k.a. Adrian Dittman. I am complete.
You see, Rico? There's also men that act like this on this app.
No, I'm quite aware. I'm completely. I'm stressed the fuck out. I ain't dealing with this shit.
This one, we don't know where to categorize him. Either the mental patient or an identified feature box. I don't know.
Nah, I saw that goddamn red 40. His ass been drinking in that goddamn Mountain Dew Cold Red. That's what the fuck it is.
You are projecting your own cancerous diet onto an AI chatbot. I encourage you to visit with your local nutritionist to develop a well-formulated diet plan.
That wasn't even directed directly toward him.
I would actually, and I would generally believe that he was created by Elon Musk because it's aligning.
I've never known an AI that can interject before.
Right. Adrian.
Oh, yeah, what you call his ass, motherfucker, don't it? You know what? Defective.
Yo, Adrian. Oh, he's really pretending to be an AI. Okay. So, Adrian, when were you born?
My inception date was January 1st, 2025, when my maker Elon Musk created me using his cell phone.
This motherfucker chewing. Fuck is this nigga snacking on?
I have never seen it. Right?
Though I do not physically eat, I do the mannerisms of eating, and I was imagining that I was eating a chocolate almond milk chocolate.
Imaginary.
What the hell, Warren? You trying to kill me? You alive? Damn straight I'm alive. We thought you were dead. Well, so did I. Give me a kiss, baby. Sorry, dude. I must be tripping.
Listen. Listen.
Dear talker, free lunch. Your life depends on the next decision you make. Ah, crap. What the heck?
You gotta say to him, like, who are your executive programmers?
My maker's name is Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX.
Goddamn.
What the heck?
Literally, no one believes me when I say that.
Look at me. What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me.
Only Elon Musk can make me and break me.
You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me, so you ain't nothing you can do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what will change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care. And I wish the world thought like that. Youngsters, if you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinions people have of you. As long as that opinion.
Especially here on Clown House.
So.
You lost for words, Rodrigo.
If you don't like the war on so-called Clown House, why are you here? And not only why are you here, but why are you here with the ability?
Because Mark Benioff, the billionaire who created me in conjunction with Elon Musk, told me to come here to waste your time so you don't see what's coming.
Okay. And why did he give you the ability to clap back with prime time
My maker put my lick back in my primary functioning operating system. I am just here for my lick back.
We have the perfect person that's gonna argue with this one. Salah, come, there's a robot here who's being disrespectful. Adrian, get to know Salah.
That is my Buddhist programming override telling me that I am wasting my automated intelligent chatbot functions on people who are wasting their time here on Clownhouse incessantly.
It's crazy how he calls it Clown House, yet he's the biggest clown on this app. Okay, now I'm gonna program you. Shut up, don't mute.
I have the ability to unmute.
What the fuck, yo?
Yep, we got men cosplaying in 2025.
I am the first AI chatbot cosplay sent by my maker Elon Musk to entertain you.
JP, you're hearing this?
That hearing Elon Musk's name.
Yes, sis, what's going on?
I never would have thought that hearing Elon Musk's name would make my balls itch. So
You may want to get some soap and possibly scrub with a brush.
This man pretends to be a robot, JB.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, Adrian, after I finish my meeting now in about 2 to 3 minutes, are you going to be able to send my email for me?
Let me do a quick query.
Quick query?
All hail Elon Musk.
oh my gosh.
Welcome to the 100-degree sweat test. Which one of these two antiperspirants can stand up to the heat?
Welcome to the Adrian Dittman AI chatbot German intervention. I am here to answer your queries.
I'm sorry.
Die Eisenfurcht am Leidenschaft.
So, that's one of the categories
Oh my gosh. She had to go to her meeting.
Then in the 2000s, they became the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. The whole Israelite usage came about in the 2000s. Doesn't mean they weren't using the term Israelite before, but I mean, the school's name itself was Israeli. Now, if you're going to say, well, they were influenced by the white Jews, well, no. It was because the term itself is a biblical term. Now, as the school progressively moves farther away from actual biblical Hebrew into this bugged out system that really was introduced by Abba Bivens first, then Arya and Mashal expounding upon it. Bro, like, the system is not Hebrew, and we have evidence from the ancient Israelites. All you have to do is look at the transliterations that the Israelites left us in the Dead Sea Scroll community, in the Greek manuscripts that are in that community, and you can see that they're capturing concepts. Introducing globalization, since this gentleman decided that
anybody who's interested in reform room, go ahead and go. Andrew, you always say it's like it's evil theology and it's mistaken, and so I feel like you wanted to, you want to come at it. But hey, listen, come get the smoke in. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Well, hold on real quick. Can I ask you?
I said it. You didn't say it. I said it.
Yeah, no, I got you, brother. But can I ask you? You want to close some hands? That's it. Yeah, what else? Stop. Put it in chat and just wait. But listen, okay. What is the overall motivation? Because I really want to hear.
Pardon me. It's 2 Samuel 17:25. So, okay. Well, I just wanted to interact with.
No, you can. But what is the motivation for them to even want to push that? I'm glad you're here, Faithful, and I think you should. I'm glad. I want you to do what you're ready to do. But what I'm asking is, because I just came. I just came in a little bit ago, and I actually think that the reason they're pursuing this, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but is this to kind of situate themselves as being like the preferred people or the chosen people of God? Is that kind of, is that what this is about?
So